Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Neurospiritual Awakening podcast with Dr. Val. As always, I am your host, Dr. Val, and it is my privilege and pleasure to have you here. It's been a minute. I haven't done one of these solo episodes for a while, so I thought, hey, I better check in with my peeps. So here we go. I mean, a little bit has been happening in my life. I think, well, as always, lots of healing or lots of new conversations with people. I've been teaching quite a bit at university. That's just one of my one of the things that I do. So that's where a lot of the energy flow is gone. But also just I think something's changed, okay? Something's changed. I don't know whether that came with the 1st of April, which is the first the new year in a lot of cultures if you follow the rule that rule okay, but I don't know what it is, but something's definitely shifted, um and it takes a little bit to adjust to. A couple of other things that I wanted to mention is that I started another podcast where it's just me. So I know on this current one, I've been having lots of different conversations with amazing, amazing people. And I'll continue to do that because I love that. I love those conversations. I love those people. I love exchanging information and bringing it to you. But in this other thing, this new thing that I was literally pulled to do, it's just me and like little short bursts of literally stuff that comes into my mind and that I want to convey to the world. It's that kind of thing. All right. And also I do run another co co-led or co-collaboration podcast, if you will, with the amazing Stacia Jeanette. So we have a thing going. It's called Frequency and Figures, where we tap into the energy of the month. She does the energy of the month and a card pull and all that. And I do the numbers. Yeah, like the frequency, the numerology that of each upcoming month. Like the month of May is a numerology month 15/6. So if you're into that kind of stuff, definitely check that out. Okay, what other news? Listen, that's all that comes to mind right now. But inside of everything that I just mentioned, I wanted to talk about resilience. Okay. I wanted to discuss this topic of resilience and what that means and how it shows up in your life. Because the awakening process definitely requires a certain level of resilience within us, right? So that we're not just down and out as this thing comes crashing on us. Sometimes, sometimes, as you've heard um, from many people who have been guests on the podcast, sometimes the awakening process is not so suave, okay? It's not a very gentle process. In many iterations, it's quite disruptive. Um, in that sense, I do want to talk about, well, resilience and how do you stay resilient maybe during your own awakening or anything that you may consider as challenging, like challenging in your life. Okay, so what about resilience? I had a little Google at the definition of resilience just so that um, I'm all across it, not just blabbing on about it. But resilience, from what I can understand, is our ability or capacity to stay flexible when big, stressful, or challenging situations come around. All right, that's my take on it. Again, it's whenever something in life shows up to fuck you up, but you don't let it. Okay, and it's not that you just plow on or ignore it or soldier through it. I'm not talking or toxic productivity your way out of it by just doing shit all the time. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, okay, you're literally facing it head on, but with a certain expanded capacity. And that, my friends, I can speak to from the point of view of neuroplasticity and epigenetics, as always. So, of course, neuroplasticity, the capacity of our brain to rewire itself based on new experience. So, let's say you are faced with this kind of tower moment in your life, right? Oh, I've been getting into tarot lately also. That's my new That's another new thing that I'm into. But listen, the tower, right? The tower moment, a major arcana, a major disruption in your life. I'm not even adding the flavor of the tower. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Like everything in life, things just are, right? And our interpretation or the perception that we view the thing through is what adds the flavor of good, bad, ugly, and all that. I'm literally just saying a tower moment, a big shift is happening in your life. Maybe it's a separation. Maybe it's a divorce. Maybe it's the welcoming of a new baby. Maybe it's a career change. Maybe it's a spiritual awakening. Maybe, who knows? You fill in the blank because we're all different. All of us are going through different tower moments, right? But this tower comes around. And, you may freak out about it at first, but then it's like, well, you got to deal with it. You literally have to deal with it. So you've got to start to formulate new neural pathways, okay? Literally new ways of being, acting, behaving to deal with this thing that you've never dealt with before. This novel experience, right? Bringing it back to neuroplasticity, this novel experience. Okay, so this new neural pathway starts to form. And as you're going through it, you may be taking it like day by day, like, oh, today is a new day. What am I going to be about it today? And yada, yada, yada. And I also want to point out that when we are observing other people go through their tower moments, sometimes it's a lot more dramatic for us than it is for them, as in the perception or our view of it can be like, oh my gosh, how can that person go like deal with it? And then that thing happens to us and we kind of like, okay, it's my life. I'm dealing with this thing, right? Anyway, that's just kind of my take on it. Again, if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, leave it. But I find that when we're observing someone else going through a tower moment, because it's not us, we can kind of assess, judge, and try it on for shits and giggles, but it's never the same as when you are personally going through the thing yourself, right? Personal, experiential phenomenon, very different. And when we are going through these things, and I'm talking to you guys, right? You are my collective, so we're on the same frequency, on the same resonance. So I speak to you like as if I'm talking to myself, because the way that I have dealt with these moments is, well, you kind of take it as it comes, right? You deal with what's in front of you. We deal with it bit by bit by bit, and then it's over and you learn from it, and then you can teach it, share about it, so on and so forth. And I do feel that that's the way that it goes for most of you, the listeners. But as you are going, I'm going to take a sip of tea here. But as you're going through your tower moment, which some call transformation, right? As you're going through that challenge, that tower moment, that transformation, a new neural pathway starts to form because you've never dealt with such a thing before. And it ain't easy. The pathway takes, it takes some energy because the brain always likes to resort to old habits. So to form this new one, to formulate this new pathway, it takes something. It takes a bit of energy, okay? So then you start to adjust your life accordingly. Maybe you're starting new practices like meditation or journaling. Maybe you are uh, forming new relationships with people that empower you as you go through that process. Maybe you're reaching out to friends and family and those people that you trust, that love you and support you to kind of walk you through that, right? To bounce shit off them, for the lack of a better expression. Um, who knows, right? But you're like learning new ways to deal with it rather than just, I don't know, drinking your way through it or smoking your way through it or whatever. Okay. So something new is happening in your life. And this new neural pathway is formed, right? So you've now gone through the tower moment, you've gotten the divorce, you've gone, to court about it, whatever. Fill in the blank. You formed the new neural pathway and you can now learn from it. Okay, you can now learn from it. Like, again, perspective is everything. So you can learn from it, you can expand from it. I'm one of those people, I'm a 38-11-2 life path, as I've said many times before. So, which leads with the three, which means the three is all about like learning, curiosity, being the creative. So I like to learn from my experiences and then essentially share them, talk about them, and teach them to support the collective, other people to go through this whole thing. Okay, so as you've learned from it, right? And you may now be sharing about it and maybe teaching other people how to deal with a similar thing. So now you're reinforcing the newly formed neural pathway. Okay, because in order to teach it, you've got to reuse it. So this kind of enhances the neuroplasticity of it, right? The newly formed pathway, which then reinforces your capacity even further to deal with challenging situations. So it's a win-win, y'all, right? It's a win-win. You're contributing to others, and then you're reinforcing that within yourself. Okay. So you're now teaching the thing. And maybe along the way, you're even learning new things, you're expanding, right? And that neural pathway now becomes the go-to pathway in your brain whenever a new challenge comes about. Now, new challenges may be of a similar flavor, like, okay, you've gone through divorce before, maybe you're going through it again, or separation, right? Relationships are kind of like that. And as we're evolving as a species, I think that a lot of us are outliving or trying on new models of relationships where it's not like I'm going to be with the same person forever and ever and ever. And if that's you, that's cool too. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, hey, it's all for grabs nowadays, and there's the liberty to experience it all and try it on and like that. I mean, I can certainly say I've gone through more than one separation. Okay. Again, take what fits. So let's say you're faced with a similar challenge, and now you've got this newly formed neural pathway called the resilient way, or your own resilience of dealing with this challenge, right? And you can resort to this new pathway so that you know how it's done. And yeah, I'm not saying it's going to be easy again, but you are now more adept to deal with this thing. Okay. And again, you may learn some more extra bits from this new thing and then share about it again and teach other people and reinforce this new neural pathway that is resilient. And at the level of the brain, yes, there are genes that predispose certain individuals to deal with stressful situations better, like actual genes that predispose you to be more resilient. An example is neuropeptide Y, okay? Neuropeptide called Y, the letter Y, okay? Quite interesting because Y is numerologically a seven energy, which is very spiritual, very analytical, very progressive. Very knowledge based. But nonetheless, I just made that realization for myself. There's a neuropeptide called Y, and people that express that neuropeptide tend to deal with stress a lot better. And again, if you have an abundance of this neuropeptide, okay, good for you. Or maybe you've got an abundance of, the serotonin receptor or certain genes, other genes that predispose you to cope and deal with stressful situation better than others. Okay, that's all good. But as you are neuroplasticizing through this, right, through this challenging situation, forming these new neural pathways, you're definitely changing not only your brain, yes, you're rewiring your brain for resilience, but you're also changing the neural chemistry that's around. So perhaps things like neuropeptide Y are now expressed to a greater extent in you because you have gone and taken the actions that you've taken from this situation. All right. So there's definitely things happening. in your neural chemistry and neural circuitry as you become more resilient. And on an fucking flies. I hate monitoring spirits. Oh, go away. All right. Back to you. Back to you. Oh no, the fucking flies back. Fuck off. All right. I'm back. So, where were we? Oh, yes. So now that I've spoken to the neuroplasticity of it, I'd like to speak to the epigenetics of it. So now that you have formed this new pathway and you have started to cultivate an environment that supports that neural pathway and your resilience as these new challenges come about. Okay, so I've already kind of spoken about the environment a little bit, which of course I bring it back to epigenetics, which is the differential expression of our DNA according to the environment that we surround ourselves with. Again, that environment may be intentional. So you may be, surrounding yourself with a lot of nature, a lot of nurture, like good food, good people, good conversations, those soul nurturing kind of aspects as you're forming this new pathway, which supports its formation, right? Or maybe this environment kind of comes to you, as people see you walk through that path. They want to support you, so this environment arises. Or maybe you start to tap into like new resources in addition to meditating and going out in nature. Maybe you're like studying or developing new psychic abilities. Although I think developing new psychic abilities and new spiritual gifts kind of comes with the package. Like as you go through this tower moment, through this transformational situation, and you formulate this new neural pathway for resilience, and hence those genes for resilience start to be expressed a lot more because of the experience, right? I believe that then that enables other genes to come online and be expressed, such as spiritual gifts, intuition, telepathy, right? There is a thing, right, in epigenetics where when one gene gets enhanced, right? Or like a certain environment allows for that gene to be enhanced, the neighboring genes may also be impacted, right? Because sometimes elements that come in and interact with our DNA don't just interact with the one gene, but they also interact with the neighboring genes. So imagine if like you're now enhancing these peptides and neurochemicals and peptide and proteins that are involved in resilience, but the neighboring genes have something to do with telepathy and intuition. Like, how cool is that? Again, it's a win-win. It's a 2-for-1. All right. Again, I don't know whether there's neuroscientific. I'm pretty sure there hasn't been any neuroscientific research done on what I've just said, but I have an inkling that may be the case. Okay. Okay. Well, listen. I think I've said enough. I've said what I wanted to say and I've shared what I wanted to share with you guys. Um, so I am more than welcoming and happy to hear from you. Please comment on maybe some tower moments that you've learned from, or what you think about this whole unlocking of your gifts as you are creating any new environment in your life that may have resulted from a tower moment. Or, what else would you like to engage in on this podcast before, of course, I invite our next guest, which will be shortly. And as always, if you'd like to work with me, please visit my website at drvalraitova.com. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to make available the knowledge, the experience, the energy, to forward your awakening process or whatever it is that you need empowerment with at this time. And until we meet again, thank you. Thank you for being here as always.